Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good for, bad day. It's snowing out there. You may have saw the blizzard video I did yesterday, which is kind of a joke in New England, that every time it snows, people have to run to the store. So, before it snows. So, I did as a little spoof. I thought it was funny. A lot of other people did too. So it was like a little joke. But what I really want to talk about is we're starting to see in Facebook posts people now posting about, um, dentists and this and that and the other thing. Okay, like TMJ, because we had in two of the groups that I admin, we had a guy about a year and a half ago running around telling everybody they did not have Meniere's disease, they had TMJ. And the TMJ is going to be the new diagnosis for Meniere's disease. Meniere's disease is going away. It's not Meniere's. It's not this. It's not that. Well, okay, first off, the guy wasn't a doctor. Okay? So he was literally diagnosing people, telling people to go buy mouth guards, posting ads to, where to get mouth guards, all that stuff. I had to ban him from the groups because it was too much. Because he's wrong. Okay? Because symptoms mimic. Okay? And yeah, are there some symptoms there that could possibly be TMJ? Yeah, there is. Okay? Problem is, TMJ, you don't lose your hearing. You may get tinnitus, you may get vertigo or dizzy and whatever. And I've been tested for TMJ and I don't have it. And that was another thing with that guy. People were telling him they were tested for TMJ and they don't have it. He was still telling them they did have it. And like I said, he was not a doctor. Okay. So yeah, you don't get the hearing loss with TMJ. So see, that's the thing we got to look for with symptoms. TMJ is TMJ. It has something to do with your jaw. Your jaw hurts. It pinches nerves. It does whatever. It doesn't make you deaf because the nerves are that nerve is going in a different area. So, but it can do other things. It can affect your station tube. It can affect things like that. So you could get ear fullness. You could get things like that, but you're not going to have permanent hearing loss type of thing. And it will fluctuate, whatever, just like everything else. So I don't have TMJ. But there are people that do, and there are people that get misdiagnosed. I'm not going to say they don't, okay? Because there's a lot of misdiagnosis, and it does take a long time to get diagnosed with Meniere's. Now, I liked what somebody else posted earlier today, and actually, I don't know why it came through as spam, but I approved it, and they were talking about the Mayo Clinic, and it was a link to it, and you click on it, and it literally lists everything, all symptoms of what Meniere's is. I think if you go to mayoclinic.org/Meniere's, it'll give you that post. But it tells you the symptoms, this testing, everything perfect from the Mayo Clinic. Because a lot of people refer to the Mayo Clinic. So that was perfect. And that's the thing. It's like people start thinking that, well, it's not Meniere's, it's got to be something else. And they start grabbing for everything, trying to find things. Well, there's easy ways to find out, okay, if it's Meniere's or if it's not. You go to a dentist who specializes in TMJ, and they will do all the tests for TMJ, the whole big X-ray and all that stuff, and they can tell if you have it or not. Okay, but you got to remember something: things mix. They mimic. Symptoms mix. Like vestibular migraine and Meniere's. That's kind of like on a spectrum. All right? The vertigo with Meniere's is anywhere from, 2 hours to 24 hours or longer. And the vertigo you get with the migraine, with the vestibular migraine, is like less than that. It's like 5 minutes. And you may get tinnitus from it, vestibular migraine, but you don't get the hearing loss. Okay, but Meniere's, you do. For the most part. Some people have Meniere's and don't have the hearing loss. Or they don't have it yet. But you do get hearing loss with Meniere's. Okay, so those are some things that you've got to look at. And you've got to look at every little box. You can't just say, oh, well, I get vertigo. Okay, that matches. I get tinnitus. That matches. Okay, it's vestibular migraine. It's not this. You can't do that. That's why I don't like sometimes in support groups where people bring something out because, I can see the TMJ Meniere's thing, okay? But they're two different. TMJ is TMJ, Meniere's is Meniere's. They're not the same, okay? And too many people are acting like they, and some people act like they are. And it's like that same thing, vestibular migraine and PPPD and this and that. Vestibular migraine, PPPD, that's what they are. Meniere's is what it is. And if you don't know what PPPD is I don't really know what the acronym means, but it's like you're on a boat all the time. It's like you're rocking like this. You feel like your body feels like you're doing this, even though you're like this. You're perfectly still, but you feel like that, and there's a lot of swaying involved, too. Your body will sway, but they're two different things. You don't lose your hearing with that stuff. Same thing with post-benign posterior vertigo, which is the crystals in your ears. They're out of alignment. And usually you can do what's called an Epley maneuver. You can look that up on yourself. And it kind of clears it up a bit. Okay? It clears it up, puts those crystals back in where they're supposed to be. So basically, yeah, somebody says you get rock. What do you have, rocks in your head? Say, yeah, so do you. And that can adjust them until the next time they go out of whack. So, but you don't get the hearing loss. You don't get all that stuff. And if you're having vertigo and you try to do the Epley maneuver and it doesn't go away, you don't have that BPPV. You have probably Meniere's. Okay, so let's just relax. If you think it might be something else, go see a dentist. If you think it might be, I shouldn't say go see a dentist. If you think it's something else, like TMJ, go see a dentist. If you think it may be from diabetes or it may be from something like that, go see, an endocrinologist. Go see your doctor. You think it might be something with your heart, go see a cardiologist. Just to get that double thing and relax that, okay, this really is Meniere's, not other things. But when you start doing research, you're going to find a lot of different things. Like, the one guy, the genetics guy. He thinks Meniere's is all genetics. And I think it could be something to do with genetics. But I also think that somebody else in your family has to have it for it to be some sort of genetic thing. And in my case, nobody in my family has it. So, yeah, just, do your research and use your head. Don't run with something. And, if you think it's something else, make an appointment with a different doctor and explain to him. I was diagnosed with Meniere's, but I noticed these symptoms are the same as TMJ or the same as this, and I want to see if I have TMJ. And then more than likely they'll say, well, let's go, let's test, let's see, let's get you down. Because the best thing is like I said, not every Meniere's diagnosis is actually Meniere's. But if you're going out and researching on your own and all this stuff, it's nice. But when you start posting about it and you haven't done anything about it, then you get a problem, because you're going to get about 99,000 different opinions. And some people are going to get mad. Some people are going to start yelling. Some people are going to screaming, swearing, whatever. It's just not worth it in a support group. So, you can say, hey, I found this. I'm going to make an appointment with a doctor to see what happens. See if it actually is. And I'll let you all know. That's not a bad way. But to post saying, hey, is there anybody okay. And one other thing. Oh, as far as doctors and groups, I don't believe there's a lot of, doctors in the groups. Okay. Basically for them, it's a liability. If they are and they start commenting and making assumptions, it's a big liability. So they're probably not in a group. Or if they are a doctor and they're in a group, and they're a medical doctor, they're usually a doctor of something else that actually has Meniere's disease. I've ran into a few doctors one was a cardiologist who actually had Meniere's disease. So they're not going to answer your questions about Meniere's disease. They're not even going to answer your questions about cardiology or whatever they do, because, like I just said, it's a liability for them. Because all they have to say is, "Oh yeah, I think that might be TMJ for you." You run with it. It's not. Now you could say Dr. Zayas or whoever said it was this, and you've got this screenshot of the comment, right? And what are you gonna do? Sue him for malpractice? And that's exactly what'll happen. Because that's another thing. People are sue happy. We live in a different world than we did 50 years ago. So, yeah, a lot of doctors aren't even going to comment on your posts if there is doctors in the group. So, on that note, hey, we do get misdiagnosed. If you feel you've been misdiagnosed, search out what you think it might be and find a good doctor in that field. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye.